Okay, I think you're live.
Today is Saturday Surprise, and it is going to be quite a surprise. We have Mark videotaping because we're going to do a demonstration today. So I'm going to just go around and see if there's people to show them where people talk and are signing on.
Got it. I got it. I see.
Okay, see, those are people signing in.
All right. Okay, everybody's watching now. You're on.
Okay. So if the camera goes AWOL, it's because Mark's on control back there, but I think he's got it. So what I want to do today is actually show you two machines. We're doing a demonstration this afternoon of the Glimmer foil machine, which is here. This is the Spellbinders foil machine. And back here we have a really nice collection of foil plates that you can use with this machine. And I will say that I started playing with this probably a month ago and actually got really good at it, and there's things that I have to practice. And then I just had a kind of crazy week and I was not able to prep for today, but since I had said that I was going to do it, we're just going to go live and do it, and so it will be a surprise. Like anything else, I think when you get a new machine, it takes practice to learn it and learn how to use it, and I'm still doing that. It's not perfect, but I noticed that before, the more I did it, the better I got at it. So I'm going to show you the Glimmer machine. We're going to be using the little fold-away machine, and then I did bring our crossover in because we just got another order of crossover machines in. And I know I had mentioned and talked about it, but I'm going to show you how this crossover machine works. So that's what we're going to do today. Yes, we got some new things in, but I don't remember this week, so we'll catch those next week. Today we're going to concentrate on the foil machine. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them, and Mark will relay them to me. And where people's names are, if they have a question, will come up there. He's like rolling his eyes at me. So anyways, this is the foil machine, and it can be used with your Big Shot, it can be used with the fold away, and it can be used with the crossover. So it is compatible with multiple die cut machines. What you are going to need, and today the only thing we're going to focus on, because you can use other things with this, we're just using the foil plates. So here in the box you get this little cooling mat. So I have this kind of all set up. The newer machines have this little magnet pickup, so you don't have to touch the die cut when it's hot. So you can use that, or you could just slide it off. This, I also mentioned before, is really good like when you're at your workspace and just need to find a die. You know, you can just randomly just go over and it'll help you find it. So nothing to do with the Glimmer machine, but just another cool tool to have. In the box, you're going to get your two plates. You're going to get your top plate, and you're going to get a shim. And depending on your machine and how old or new your machine is, you might have to put a shim of paper in. And these are all the things that you have to test and play with and see what works for you. We are using scrapbook adhesive foils along with Spellbinders and Gemini foils. And once again, I'm going to play later with deco foil to make sure that those work for you. And I have some other foils, and we'll be testing all that.
The tool comes with the machine?
In the newer box, they increased the price and included this tool, so that comes in that box. We are doing $20 off each of the foil machines today if you come in and get a foil machine. In the older boxes, they don't have this tool. The tool, I think this was $99.99 with $20 off, and I think that's $119 with $20 off.
Show her the tool right there.
So this doesn't, the older one does not have the
right
machine, and the newer one does. And the tool, I think, is like $10. Okay? So we have, if you look at the machine, there's a little button on the side. This is your on and off switch. And so I've had this machine hit it up, and we have one Go Press, which is another machine that you can use for doing the foiling. What I like about this machine, the fact that you have your power on and little buttons that tell you when everything is ready. So here, this is saying that my plate is hot enough and it's ready to put the plate that I'm going to be using on. And I think, you know, when I saw demonstrations of the other machine, you know, they said probably like about a minute. I'm going to just shift this over to about here. You know, keep your machine on for like a minute, and, you know, and then it may be hot enough, blah, blah, blah. I kind of like to know when something is telling me that it's all set. So I'm setting this up. I'm going to put my foil on, and Jennifer McGuire did a great presentation of the foil machine with lots of tips. You know, we do have the little cutter, and I'm not going to bother getting that out. And I have used it. It does help with the foils. But one of the things she suggests is making sure that there's no sharp edges. You're going to place the shiny side of your foil down onto your hot plate. You're going to place your paper on top of that. I'm just going to put this bigger sheet. You're going to place your shim in your plate, and then I'm going to put the timer on. And it's going to kind of just keep beeping. You know, it might be 45 seconds, it might be a minute, and it's going to let you know when you're ready to take the plate off and run it through your machine. It'll stop flashing. It'll be just a solid color. So we're just going to watch that. I do remember in her video, she did suggest a lot of times she had to put an extra piece of paper in, and she found that helpful. But once again, I have a brand new Big Shot at home that I use solely for the Glimmer machine, and I think the tension is perfect, and I don't need to add another machine. Now this is one that we use in the store all the time. It's battered and well loved, so this is where the pressure might not be as good. If you can see that this timer is solid, so this is telling me that I can pull this off. You're going to put it in your machine.
What's the cost of the Glimmer?
The foil machine?
The Glimmer, I think they're probably the foil.
Oh, the foils are like $3.25. I think the scrapbook adhesives are like $5 for this package of, you had 4 different holographic foils. They all vary, but I think for the most part they're under $5. You just want to go slowly, and you really only need to go back and forth once. Put this on to heat up for the next one. And you can see how this one actually worked really well. And sometimes, like, you know, you look at these foils and say, oh my gosh, that's like too much. But when you're only getting parts and pieces of the design, that little bit actually looks gorgeous on there.
Cost of the machine.
The cost of the machine, I believe we have the older machines at $99.99, and you're going to get $20 off today. And I'm using one of the older machines, so it did not come with this new tool. And this is what I've been using. The newer machines are now $119.99, and you get $20 off that. So let's give it another shot. Let's pick another design. I will tell you that I don't have it here, but I did have one of Pink Fresh dies. They have a beautiful hot plate of sentiments, and I put my foil down on the wrong side.
Somebody says hello, Sadie.
I did put my foil down on the wrong side, and the foil stuck to my Glimmer plates. I still can use it. It does not affect future use, so if you make a mistake, it's still all good. Now I haven't played a whole lot with
Yep,
different...
that's the dog snoring.
You can kind of show them that. Where is she?
I don't know, I hear her. Oh. There
underneath
she
the table.
is. She's under the table. It's always close by. Does it work with the big shot?
Yes. Yep. This is a Sizzix machine. So I'm going to try a little sentiment, and we'll see how that works. I had done this poinsettia earlier.
You have to press the button.
You have to, oh yeah. I think I need a bigger sheet of paper. We'll try it and then we'll. And let me put my foil on. Sadie's distracting me. We'll leave it on.
Does it work with the Spellbinder?
Yes, with it was made actually for the platinum machine. We do sell the I don't have any in stock, but we do have the platinum machine available to get in our store. We just don't have any at this point. They've been out of stock. I think they might be back in just with this whole shipping fiasco thing that's going on. But yes, this whole machine setup was made to work with the Spellbinders, but since the products that we use for Spellbinders and the Sizzix are compatible, they will work. I'm going to leave it just a little bit longer because I hit the button a little bit too soon before I had everything set up, so we'll just give it another 15 seconds. Like I said, I'm going to, my goal, is to actually spend more time and perfecting my Glimmer foiling. But what I've done so far, I really love it. And I love the fact that a lot of companies are now getting into the foiling, especially Pink Fresh, one of my favorite companies, doing a lot of sentiments, and they have their Christmas sentiment hot plate. Our dies are coming in finally to go with that, and then I'll bring this back again and show you how that system works.
It's $20 off both machines, right?
Yes. Here's my little magnet. see now I can see over there was not enough pressure. So in this practice one, that would let me know that next time I probably would do a paper shim. And let's just do that really quick. Let's put that back on there. And this time I'll put a little shim in and see if that will make a difference. We'll just kind of place it so it goes just below that. Not that I would, you know, use this. The other little tip, we have the little, let me just take care of this. Put this right here. I'm just going to stick a piece of cardstock in there, set my timer on, and we'll see if that makes difference, just adding that little shim. So like I said, this afternoon from 1:30 to 3:30, if you live locally, stop in, and if you want to try it, we're going to be here demoing it and playing with it all afternoon. So you're welcome to come in and give it a shot. I figured it's a good opportunity for me to kind of play. Like I said, you know, anytime you get a new machine, it's always, there's a learning curve, and there's definitely a learning curve with this. There are a lot of little tips that Jennifer gives that I found very helpful. The other thing, I didn't open this because I think I might need a battery. This is that little electric eraser, which is nice to get any little spots that you'll find that maybe the foil had attached itself to.
What if it happens if you leave it on the heat too long? Does the Glimmer plate shut off?
No, I don't think it shuts off. I've never had it like shut off. I mean, because you're foiling, so you shouldn't be distracted doing something else. You should be just by your machine. Anytime I'm working with something that's hot, I don't leave it unattended. So. Let's see if this one's a little better with that extra shim. Oh, you can see that this one actually probably was perfect. So, you know, and it might be a good tip just to put an extra shim all the time. So I'm going to shut this off and put this to the side and talk a little bit about the other machine that we have, that we started carrying. And the reason I started getting this machine back in, because this is actually the machine I use at home all the time. And since they're now available again, I decided to bring them in. And we've actually sold several of them, and everybody that's got one is so happy they did. So this is the crossover machine. And number one of the reasons I do like it, because it does fold up. So it's very narrow, and it does have the big surface, 8.5 by 11. It comes with everything that you need. So you're going to get your base plate, you're going to get your cutting plate, and this is how much like cutting we do. This is probably about 2 months old, but you can see that their plates are much bigger and thicker, so we're not getting the warping and the bowing that we're getting with the other machines. This machine is Mark's. I have mine up in my room. This is his football die cutting machine. So when football's on, he's die cutting. So his is newer, mine is older. My plates are about 3 years old, still like this, and not bowed.
Jacqueline says put one aside for her.
Okay. So I just want to show you that you can do all the, you know, folders, the die cuts, and the Glimmer machine with this. I would have to adjust and play to find my setting for the foil machine, and I'll do that later in the day. But if you look over here, this is like the best thing about this machine. You have this little gauge, and up here you have the little adjustment, and you can see that it's moving. And this regulates this base and the rollers. If you can see the rollers go down, the roller will go down and add more pressure. So instead of, it kind of eliminates a lot of the shims. And I know in my machine, if I'm doing a die cut, my setting is like 3.5, and you'll be able to judge that accordingly. So your plate goes on, your die cutting plate.
Do you have to pick it up today to get the discount or no?
They can call and pay for it, and then we can have it here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if you just call, just because
Jacqueline Pfeiffer wants a Glimmer machine.
okay. You put your paper on top. Just like the other machine, I go back and forth. And there's your die cut. And if you find that it didn't die cut all the way, just go back and make it a smidge tighter, and it'll cut even better. This is just a regular embossing folder. Once again, the same setup. You always use your plate on top. And for my machine in my room, usually around 9 is my folder. See, now I can see this is a little bit tight, so I'm going to go back and just add a little more pressure. Now I could feel that this is going to be perfect. Go back and forth. One of the other things that you'll notice about this machine, it is heavy. It's a heavier machine. It's a solid machine. And that's just a regular embossing folder. And last of all, I just wanted to show you the 3D plates. I have now the 3D, I usually have to go all the way to 17.
How much is the machine you're using?
Pardon?
How much is the crossover?
That crossover, we have it on sale for $199.99. It lists for $250. Now this I'm not using. You can, if you want to use a plate, you can use, you can actually put your old like Spellbinder plates in here if you want a plate on top. Sometimes when I'm doing the 3D, I'm only doing one at a time. You know, I'm not doing a class worth, so I don't even put a plate on top. Where's that? I think I'll just use this plate. See, that's going to be too thick, so. Once again, I'm trying to just adjust to get the pressure that I like. I think I'm going down because I don't have my top plate on. And what I've told a couple customers that have gotten the machine, when you're setting, you know, using your machine for the first time, keep a little notebook so that you can just write down you know, I'm just using die cuts. Set the machine at such and such. So you can see this is the Tim's 3D leaf with a copper paper. I've also used this machine. You can put it up on me.
Yeah.
Pay attention. I've also used the machine with the mat or the molds from Heartfelt Creations. Those go in without any plate, and I run them through to get that embossed design on my flowers. I have used the Glimmer machine in this also with the plates from the Glimmer machine. So it's just a machine that you can use with all the products that you already have. So does anybody have any questions?
Somebody want to know if you put one aside and she'll pick it up on Monday.
Yeah,
But-
have them just call the store and they have to be paid for, and we'll put your name on it and keep it under the table and set it aside for you. So, okay. So I think I'm gonna let you guys go. Any questions? Any other questions?
Nope.
Sometimes it takes a little longer, Mark,
No.
for the questions to come. So it'll be interesting when I go back and watch this video to see how my husband did. Did you do a good job, guys? Send him some hearts if you did. Are you getting any hearts?
Not yet.
He doesn't know what a heart is.
Yeah, I know. And wrap it up.
Okay. He's telling me to wrap it up. Everyone have a great weekend. We'll see you next week, and thanks for joining me. Thank you. Bye.
I don't know what you had.
Oh, there's your hearts.
I got it.
He got hearts. Thanks, guys.